Hello, all you wonderful people out there. I hope you are well today. And I thought we would come out today and do a meditation about telling the bees. And if we're lucky, a few might fly by as we're doing this. So I've been thinking a lot about bees this week, and there's a very old custom. Here we go, there's a little fly. There's an old custom in the UK and in many other countries actually about telling the bees. And when something major happened in the household, perhaps someone passed over, people marry, and especially if the beekeeper passed away, I would go down to the beehives and tell the problems and the worries to the bees so that they didn't take flight and fly off. So I thought today that we could do that, and I'm sitting on the side of a hill in the Sussex Downs. Behind me is a valley and some more of the lovely downland behind. And before we start, I would just like you to ground yourself by growing those roots out of your shoulders and down past your hips and knees and down through your feet into the ground below you. And they'll grow downwards and downwards and downwards until they get a foothold somewhere within the inner earth, and you might instinctively start to see crystals and colours, and those will be right for you. So as your roots are growing downwards and connecting into the inner world tree and the crystal and mineral pools, I'm just going to run this stick of Owens. And if any catch your eye, I'm just going to run it up your centre line like sap flowing upwards through your body and out of the top of your head. And if any of those symbols caught your eye, that will be correct for you. One last time as we hum. And breathe out. So I'm also going to give you a couple of Himalayan Diamonds to hold. And you may be able to hear some kind of beat or machinery down in the valley. I think they are haymaking. But these Himalayan Diamonds are the colour of the grass, aren't they? And light and sunshine. So just take those now and hold them. And they actually are supposed to cleanse electrical smog and pollutants. And before we start, I'm going to put some oil onto my hands from the elder, which is the Rish symbol. It's a beautiful fragrance. I'm just going to waft that towards you. And I have some elder here that I asked a tree to collect. So just feel those brushing through your aura, and in a little bit, when it's got warmer, the bees will be buzzing around that, collecting their pollen. Rish, rish, rish. I'm going to just draw that into you now. Rish. And you can hear a skylark singing out, warning me that his nest is over there somewhere. Don't come near. He's safe from us, isn't he, friends? Okay. So I'd like you to protect yourself now by imagining a candle flame at the center of your being, and push that flame outwards and upwards to the front of you and behind you, moving outwards, creating a bubble of protection. And I'm just going to reinforce that with chi around you. And just breathe in the fragrance of the wildflower meadows where we sit. The wheat wolves are in the fields behind, being blown, slithering and snaking their way in rhythm with the wind and the breezes. Perhaps catching us unawares, that trickster vibration. So just give yourself a little shake, and let's bring our minds back to the bees. And I'd like you just to imagine that you are lying down within this meadow, perhaps where you are now, just that way, and lie in that star position. The 5-pointed star, the pentagram, which is a protection symbol. Your head, your arms, and your legs like that, like the Leonardo da Vinci picture of the man. And you're just lying there and you're connecting to the earth, to the air, to the fire, to the water, and where your head is, to the spiritual elements that create our world. And just imagine yourself lying there amongst all these beautiful flowers and grasses, listening to the crows and listening to the hum, and just relaxing and letting things fall away, feeling the hum of the vibrations of the insects. And you may feel the need to hum, and that's all right. And as your mouth falls open, as it relaxes, you just feel your soul flutter up through your esophagus and out as a little bee. And you start to buzz as you warm up there, and daintily fly over the fields in search of nectar and honey. And somewhere in the vicinity are your beehives. And the breeze buffets you a little bit, but that's okay because it makes you stronger. Your little wings flying. As you fly over the elder trees which guard the space, and you may wish to just land on it. Your long nose feels a bit different. It grows, and then it draws up the beauty and the nectar and the sweet juices of the elder. Yep, those combine harvesters and haymakers like the beet to work with. And then when you've finished with the elder, you come to the rattle. And you can hear that, and the world looks a bit different, doesn't it? Because you have become smaller. And you have that long snout, just a prosperous saw, I think they call it, and you reach down into the rattle, collecting the nectar. Typical, you can't escape human activity anywhere in England. Yeah, they've turned around and going back. Sound carries here, and the bee can feel the vibrations of that. Perhaps it startles you and makes you fly a bit faster. And then you come towards the Queen Anne's lace, which has a slightly musky scent. Just absorbing that into your aura. And then you move on. And you move on to these beautiful daisies, the dog daisies. And the way that these are sitting, you actually want a little bit of a rest. So you land in the middle, and the petals gently fold up around you. And you lie here upon this yellow colour, absorbing it into you and protect it. As your weight has helped, the petals close around you for protection, and as you rest here, to gather your strength, the strength of the sun, the colours of purity and energy and light. And you just rest a little while, letting your limbs relax. And feeling the energy of the woodland meadow. And it may be that the colours look different to you in this meditation. Some people may be unable to enter the actual eyesight and senses of the bees, and things would look different. Okay. So we've rested here with these beautiful dog daisies, and as they open up, you take flight again. And you come to a plant now that is called plantain and was very sacred to the Druids. Perhaps not the prettiest, but definitely worth its weight in gold. And you just brush those through your aura. Imagine them brushing past you, over your little furry body and your delicate wings. You are light, you are airy, you are important, just like every little bee from the hive. You are important, you are part of a community. You work as a team, even if you are quite a solitary person. You have a team of guides, you have a team of helpers, and you may have a team of fairies. And if you are here doing this meditation, you want better things for you, your partners, your comrades, your family and friends. And that is working as part of the collective. So now a different colour catches your eye, and this is some kind of legume, a relative of the pea. And you land upon it and you absorb the beautiful spiritual colour of the purple. Breathe it in to your yin-tang point or your third eye right here, right there. Feel its essence, its colour opening and shifting that yin-tang point, helping you with your discernment, helping you to make better choices. And it brushes past your furry little body. It has a delicate smell, a delicate fragrance, which you as your bee breathe in. And then you move off and you spy some agrimony. Flowers just coming out, catching the sun. You land on its little stem, busily letting the pollen attach to your furry body and sucking in the nectar. And then you move to the other one, and the pollen on your fur pollinates and helps the next plant in its reproduction. So just imagine that you're making ideas, you're getting inspiration, marrying things up perhaps to help yourself and the plant life in the future. And then you take flight again. You buzz across this grassland, the wind buffeting you, hopefully you can start to see the beehives in front of you and all the other bees, the blacks and the yellows, heading back to the beehives. The drones, the queen is there, and the worker bees. And you buzz towards it in a haze of yellow for energy and black for protection, all buzzing. And before you make your way into the beehive, you're just going to alight on its roof. Perhaps it is a beehive made out of wood, or perhaps it is one of the old wicker spiral pointed ones. Or whatever you have arrived at. I want you to now empty those worries and that big news out. Tell the bees. And as you tell your community, your team, what has happened, just feel your little body and your aura shifting a little and let the weight fall off you. If it is upsetting, don't follow the memory, just tell it. Tell it to the bees. And breathe out. And now you might want to enter the hive. And deposit your nectar into one of the hexagonal places. I'm not sure what bees actually do with it, but let's deposit your nectar there, but you're going to keep some of it for yourself. And that liquid gold is released into that honeycomb hexagonal shape of balance, sacred geometry. And then up you go again and out, back across the fields. And as you fly back to the field that your body is lying in, you're going to fly over the vervain and the lady's mantle, the burdock and the poppy fields, past the barrow and over the bane, over the little red dots of the mugwort, and over the fields of the Celtic bean, past the stone circle and the plantain, over the pink Bethany, and past the little pond and the clover where the salmon dwells. Across the fields of the woad and the comfrey, past the rivers with the bulrushes and the watermint, and the deep forested places where the cuckoo's pint dwells. Past the lone stone and the nettles which show where the humans have lived before. Across the dainty fields and clumps of the meadow sweet, members of your hive buzzing excitedly around them. Across the dainty star-like blue borage and the fields of flax, until you come back and see where your body is lying, and you can smell the chamomile. And then you see yourself lying there, mouth just open a little bit in repose and rest. And your little bee spirit enters back into your mouth and into your soul, right in the center of that candle flame we started with. Take in a breath and breathe out, and you can feel yourself growing to fit your body, your case, your container. Give yourself a little shake. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. I'm now going to take the Himalayan Diamonds out of your hands, knowing that they have cleansed and cleared you. And then just grow those tree roots down and let these symbols ground you this time, growing roots out of your shoulders and your feet into the earth below you. Down, down and down. And one last time. Down, down and down until they get a foothold somewhere within the inner earth. And I'm now just going to place my hands on your shoulders as I feel the first drops of rain falling, just as we come to the end. Thank you, guides. Thank you, helpers, for protecting us today and letting us make this video. And that is telling the bees bye bye now.